I found a secret phone in my husband's car with texts to another woman planning our divorce before I even knew. I'm 29F and my husband is 32M. His name is Derek and we've been married for 4 years, together for 7 total. I thought we had a solid marriage. Not perfect but good. We rarely fought. We had similar goals. We were planning to start trying for kids next year. I trusted him completely. 2 weeks ago I was looking for my sunglasses in Derek's car. He'd driven us to dinner the night before and I thought maybe I'd left them in there. I was digging around in the center console and under the seats when my hand hit something wedged way back under the passenger seat. I pulled it out and it was a phone. Not Derek's phone. He had his phone with him inside the house. This was a different phone, an older iPhone in a black case. I turned it on and it wasn't password protected. It opened right up. My stomach dropped immediately. There were text messages. The most recent conversation was with a contact saved as L, and when I opened it I felt like I was going to throw up. The messages were from that morning. L had texted asking if Derek had talked to his lawyer yet. Derek responded that he had a consultation scheduled for next week. L said good, that the sooner he filed the better, that she couldn't wait to stop sneaking around. I scrolled up. There were hundreds of messages going back 5 months. Derek and L talking about their relationship, making plans to meet up, talking about how much they loved each other. But what made it worse was they weren't just having an affair, they were planning my entire life without me knowing. There were messages about Derek's strategy for the divorce, L asking if he was going to try for a 50-50 asset split or if he thought he could get more. Derek saying his lawyer friend told him he should document all my spending to make me look irresponsible. There were messages about timing, Derek saying he wanted to wait until after his bonus came through in 3 months so it wouldn't be part of the marital assets. 3 months away, he was planning to stay married to me for 3 more months while having an affair and plotting our divorce, just so he could maximize his payout. There were messages about Elle coming over to our house when I was at work, Derek saying he'd make sure to wash the sheets after. There were messages about trips they'd taken together. I recognized the dates. They were weekends Derek had told me he was going to conferences or visiting his college friend in Boston. I felt physically sick. I sat in the car for maybe 20 minutes just scrolling through everything, reading every message, torturing myself with the details. Then I saw messages about me, Elle asking what Derek was going to tell me when he finally filed, Derek saying he'd probably say we grew apart, that he'd try to make it amicable so I wouldn't fight him on the assets. Elle said she thought I seemed like a pushover so I probably wouldn't cause problems. That one hurt more than almost anything else. I'm not a pushover, I've just never had a reason to fight with Derek because I thought we were happy. There were also messages planning their future, talking about moving in together after the divorce. Elle sent him Zillow listings for houses. They talked about getting a dog. Derek said he'd always wanted a husky but I'm allergic so he could never get one. I didn't even know he wanted a dog. We'd never talked about it. I took screenshots of everything. I went through the entire conversation thread and screenshotted every message that mentioned the divorce planning, the affair, the lawyer consultations, all of it. I also checked his other messages. There weren't many other contacts. This was clearly a phone he only used for the affair, but there was a conversation with someone named Jason from 3 weeks ago. Derek had sent him a message asking for a recommendation for a divorce attorney. Jason responded with a name and number and said sorry it came to this. I took screenshots of that too. Then I put the phone back exactly where I found it, wedged under the passenger seat, and I went inside. Derek was in the living room watching TV. He smiled when I came in and asked if I found my sunglasses. I said no. I lied and said I must have left them at the restaurant. He said we could call them later and check. I just nodded. I couldn't look at him. I felt like everything about him was different. This person I'd been with for 7 years was a complete stranger. I went upstairs and locked myself in the bathroom and cried for an hour. Derek knocked once and asked if I was okay. I said I had a migraine and just needed to lie down. That was 2 weeks ago. Since then I've been pretending everything is normal while I figure out what to do. It's been the hardest thing I've ever done, sitting across from Derek at dinner, sleeping next to him at night, listening to him talk about his day, all while knowing he's planning to divorce me and he's been cheating on me for months. He has no idea I know. He's still texting Elle on the burner phone. I've checked it 3 more times when he's been in the shower or asleep. They're still planning, still talking about their future. Elle keeps asking when he's going to tell me and Derek keeps saying soon, after the bonus. I used the screenshots to find Elle's full name. Her contact in the phone just said Elle, but in one of the photos they took together there was a credit card on the table in the background. I zoomed in and could read the name, Lauren Voss. I looked her up on social media and found her immediately. She works at the same company as Derek. She's in a different department but same building. That's how they met. Her Facebook is public and there are no photos of her and Derek. She's kept it completely off social media, but there are posts about her life, her friends, her apartment. She has no idea I know who she is. I also looked up the lawyer Derek was planning to use. I called the office and made a consultation appointment for myself using my maiden name. I met with a different attorney at the same firm, a woman named Patricia. I told her everything, showed her the screenshots. She was horrified. Patricia said what Derek is doing is not illegal, but it's definitely unethical. She said the fact that he's planning the divorce in secret while hiding assets and strategizing against me puts me in a good position. She said if I file first I have the advantage. I can control the narrative and I can make sure the bonus is included in the marital assets since we'll still be married when he receives it. She also said the affair might matter depending on our state's laws. We live in a state that allows fall-based divorce, so if I can prove adultery it could affect the asset division. The screenshots I have are pretty definitive proof. Patricia advised me to start getting my finances in order. She said I should open a new bank account that Derek doesn't have access to. I should start moving money into it. Not all of our savings, just enough to make sure I have a cushion. She said I should also gather all our financial documents, tax returns, bank statements, investment accounts, mortgage papers, everything. I've been doing that for the past week. I told Derek I was organizing our files for tax purposes and he didn't question it. I've scanned everything and saved it to a thumb drive that I'm keeping at my friend's house. My friend Kayla is the only person who knows. I told her everything and she's been letting me come over and cry and vent. She thinks I should confront Derek immediately, but I don't know if that's smart. Patricia said confronting him before I file could give him time to hide assets or change his strategy. But I also feel insane pretending everything is fine. Last night Derek kissed me goodnight and told me he loved me and I almost screamed. How can he say that to me when he's planning to leave me, when he's sleeping with someone else, when he thinks I'm a pushover who won't fight back? I'm going to file first. Patricia is drawing up the papers now. I'm filing for divorce based on adultery and I'm asking for a bigger share of the assets because of his infidelity. I'm also making sure that bonus is included in the marital estate. Derek thinks he's so smart. He thinks he's planned everything perfectly. He has no idea that I found the phone, that I know everything, that I've been 10 steps ahead of him for 2 weeks. Part of me wants to see his face when he gets served with papers, when he realizes I knew the whole time, when he understands that I'm not a pushover. But part of me is just devastated. I loved him. I thought we were building a life together. I thought we were happy. How did I miss this? How did I not know he was unhappy? Or was he happy and he's just selfish and wanted something new? I keep thinking about the messages where they talked about me, where Elle called me a pushover, where Derek said he'd tell me we grew apart, like our entire relationship was nothing, like 7 years together means so little that he can just summarize it with we grew apart and move on. I'm scared about what comes next. I've never lived alone. Derek and I moved in together after a year of dating. I don't know how to be single. I don't know how to start over at 29. We were supposed to have kids. We were supposed to grow old together. But I'm also angry, furious actually, at Derek for lying to me for months, for bringing Lauren into our home, for planning to screw me over financially, for thinking I wouldn't fight back. So I am fighting back. I'm filing first. I'm taking control. I'm making sure he doesn't get to execute his perfect plan. I just needed to tell someone other than Kayla. I feel like I'm losing my mind keeping this secret, pretending to be a loving wife while I'm preparing to blow up our marriage. Is this the right move? Should I confront him first or just let the papers do the talking? Update 5 weeks later. I filed. Derek was served with divorce papers 3 weeks ago at work. I had the process server deliver them to his office because I wanted him to be blindsided the way I was when I found that phone. Patricia said I didn't have to do it that way, but I wanted to. He called me 17 times that afternoon. I didn't answer. He left voicemails ranging from confused to angry to begging. He came home that night and I was already gone. I'd packed my stuff and moved in with Kayla temporarily. I left my wedding ring on the kitchen counter. Derek showed up at Kayla's apartment at 11 p.m., banging on the door, demanding to talk to me. Kayla threatened to call the police and he finally left. He sent me dozens of texts that night, asking what was going on, saying we needed to talk, saying this was insane. The next day he finally seemed to realize I knew about the affair. He sent me a long text confessing everything, saying he'd made a terrible mistake, that Lauren meant nothing, that he loved me and wanted to fix our marriage. I didn't respond. His lawyer contacted Patricia trying to negotiate. Derek wanted to do mediation, wanted to settle everything quietly. Patricia told them absolutely not. We were going to court. The divorce papers I filed included all the evidence of the affair, the screenshots from the burner phone, everything about him planning the divorce in secret. His lawyer was apparently blindsided. Derek hadn't told him about any of that. Patricia said Derek's lawyer was furious with him for lying. Apparently Derek had gone to the consultation and presented himself as a husband in an unhappy marriage who wanted to separate amicably. He never mentioned Lauren or the burner phone or the affair. Now Derek's lawyer is advising him to settle because the adultery evidence is damning and a judge is not going to look favorably on him hiding assets and planning the divorce in secret while pretending everything was fine. We had our first mediation session last week. I had to sit across a table from Derek for 3 hours. It was horrible. He looked awful. He'd lost weight and he had dark circles under his eyes. He kept trying to make eye contact with me and I refused to look at him. His lawyer proposed a 50-50 split of assets. Patricia countered with 65/35 in my favor given the adultery. They went back and forth. We didn't reach an agreement. We had another session scheduled for next week. Derek tried to talk to me after the mediation. He followed me out to the parking lot and grabbed my arm, begging me to just talk to him for 5 minutes. I pulled away and told him to never touch me again. Kayla was with me and she got between us and told him to back off. He said I was being cruel, that he made a mistake but I was destroying his life. I told him he destroyed his own life when he started sleeping with Lauren and planning to screw me over financially. He didn't have a response to that. I asked him if Lauren was worth it. He said they weren't together anymore. Apparently she broke up with him the day after he got served. She told him she didn't want the drama and blocked him on everything. I almost laughed. The woman he threw away our marriage for didn't even stick around. Work has been weird. People know we're getting divorced. I don't know if Derek told people or if it got around some other way, but I've had coworkers approach me asking if I'm okay. I just say yes and change the subject. I don't want to talk about it with people I barely know. My parents have been supportive. They never really liked Derek. My mom said she always thought he was too focused on money. I wish she'd told me that before I married him, but I guess hindsight is 20/20. Derek's parents called me crying. His mom said she couldn't believe what he'd done, that she was so sorry, that she still considered me family. It was nice of her but also awkward. I don't want a relationship with my ex-husband's parents. Financially I'm okay. I took Patricia's advice and moved money into a separate account before filing. I have enough to cover rent once I move into my own place. I'm looking at apartments now, something small and cheap, just for me. Emotionally I'm a mess. Some days I'm fine. I'm angry and motivated and ready to fight. Other days I can barely get out of bed. I cry over stupid things. Yesterday I cried in the grocery store because I saw the cereal Derek likes. Kayla has been amazing. She's let me stay with her rent-free. She's listened to me vent for hours. She's gone to every mediation session with me for moral support. I don't know what I'd do without her. I'm not dating. I can't even imagine being with someone else right now. I feel broken, like I can't trust my own judgment anymore. I was with Derek for 7 years and I didn't know he was capable of this. How can I trust anyone? Patricia says the divorce should be finalized in about 4 months if Derek agrees to settle. If he keeps fighting it could take longer. I want it over as soon as possible. I want to stop being legally tied to him. I still think about the burner phone sometimes, about reading those messages, about how my entire world collapsed in 20 minutes sitting in a car. It feels surreal, like it happened to someone else. Derek is still trying to contact me. He emails me every few days, long messages about how sorry he is, how he wants another chance, how we can go to counseling. I delete them without reading past the first line. Patricia said not to respond to anything unless it's through lawyers. I ran into Lauren once, at a coffee shop near my office. We made eye contact and she looked terrified. She grabbed her coffee and practically ran out. I didn't say anything to her. What would I even say? She's not worth my energy. The next mediation session is in 4 days. Patricia thinks Derek is going to agree to the 65/35 split because his lawyer is advising him to settle. She said dragging this out will only cost him more in legal fees and he'll probably end up with a worse outcome if we go to trial. I hope she's right. I want this over. Final update 4 months later. The divorce is final. It's been official for 3 weeks now. I'm no longer married to Derek and it feels strange. Like I should feel more different than I do, but mostly I just feel tired. We settled out of court. Derek agreed to the 65/35 asset split after his lawyer basically told him he had no chance in front of a judge. I got the house. Derek moved out 2 months ago. I'm living here alone now and it's weird. Every room has memories but I'm trying to make it feel like mine instead of ours. The financial settlement was fair, better than fair honestly. I got $127,000 from our combined savings and investments. Derek also had to pay my legal fees which were around $18,000. Patricia was worth every penny. Derek kept his 401k and I kept mine. We didn't have any debt to split. The house is in my name now. Derek signed over his half as part of the settlement. The mortgage is manageable on my salary and I'm planning to refinance in a few months. I haven't seen Derek since the final mediation session 2 months ago. We signed all the papers separately. We didn't have to be in the same room. I was relieved. He stopped trying to contact me after I sent him one final email through Patricia telling him if he reached out again I'd file for a restraining order. I haven't heard from him since. I did hear through mutual friends that he's struggling. He had to move into a small apartment across town. He's apparently miserable at work because people know what he did. His reputation took a hit. I don't feel bad for him. Lauren doesn't work at the company anymore. She quit about a month after everything blew up. I don't know where she ended up and I don't care. I've been in therapy for 2 months. My therapist is helping me work through the betrayal and the trust issues. It's slow going but I'm making progress. Some days are better than others. I went on a date last month, a guy from a dating app. It was fine, we got drinks and talked. There was no chemistry, but it felt good to know I could do it, that I could sit across from someone new and have a conversation without falling apart. Work has been good. I got a promotion in January. My boss said I'd been doing excellent work and they wanted to recognize it. The raise helped offset the financial stress of the divorce. Kayla is still my best friend. She moved in with her boyfriend 2 months ago, so I'm not staying with her anymore. But we see each other all the time. She's been my rock through all of this. My parents visited last month. My mom helped me redecorate the bedroom. We got rid of the furniture Derek and I picked out together and replaced it with new stuff. It helped make the room feel less like his and more like mine. I bought a dog 3 weeks ago, a rescue mutt named Pepper. She's sweet and energetic and having her in the house makes it feel less empty. I'm not allergic to dogs. That was a lie Derek told Lauren, just another thing he made up. I still have angry days where I think about everything Derek did and I want to scream. I think about the burner phone, the messages, the way he planned everything behind my back, the way he thought I was too much of a pushover to fight back. But mostly I feel relieved that I found out when I did, before we had kids, before I wasted more years on someone who didn't value me, relieved that I fought back and didn't just accept whatever Derek tried to give me. I'm not happy yet, but I'm getting there. I'm building a life that's just mine, no lies, no secrets, no one plotting against me. Derek made his choice and it cost him everything, the marriage, the house, most of our money, his reputation, and Lauren didn't even want him in the end. He gambled and lost. I don't forgive him. I don't think I ever will, but I'm letting go of the anger because holding on to it only hurts me. I'm 30 now. My birthday was last week. I spent it with Kayla and a few close friends. We went to dinner and they bought me a cake. It was simple and nice. No drama, no lies, just people who actually care about me. I don't know what the future looks like. I'm not making big plans. I'm just taking it one day at a time, focusing on work, on therapy, on Pepper, on rebuilding. Maybe someday I'll be ready for a real relationship again. Maybe not. Either way I'm okay. I'm stronger than Derek thought I was. Stronger than I thought I was. The house is quiet now, just me and Pepper, but it's a good quiet, peaceful, mine.